Hello, Exeter! And today on the spotlight we have Samantha Brown.
Out of college.
College, so growing up, and then after that I bent over.
Pleasure to have you on show one. So you have been in chocolate, in Exeter in particular, for 5 years, if I'm not mistaken?
Almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in July.
5 years in July.
Yeah.
And total, you have been in Exeter, in chocolate for
About 14 years.
14. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what gets one started on chocolate?
Well, I was teaching middle school math at the time, so 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, which was awesome. But at the same time, I'm one of those people that is constantly taking classes in other things just for fun. And I happened to take a local chocolate making class in Manchester. And I absolutely fell in love with it and realized that there are people out there that actually do chocolate all the time and don't do anything else. Like that's their livelihood.
Right.
And I decided that I wanted to do that too.
Awesome. So inside your store, there are all of these posters for all things chocolate related, which is exciting, and it's in different languages. I'm curious, did you travel or have to travel for?
So I guess you don't have to travel for chocolate, but it's far more fun if you travel for chocolate. When I was first learning, I was searching for an apprenticeship, which don't really exist in the US for things like baking and chocolate. So I ended up going to an online school called École Chocolat out of Vancouver, Canada. And then from there, I traveled to France to do my Master Chocolatier certification, and I took some classes in Italy as well. And then since then, we've taken classes in Paris, in Hawaii, in California, all over.
All right.
All in chocolate from a giant fruit that makes chocolate. Like, what? It's insane and so cool.
It is.
I love it.
Has your husband gone to South America for the tree?
Not all the way up.
Okay.
He's been so far, he's been in Guatemala. We were thinking about going to Ecuador and to Peru. Those are the two on our list. Those are
Would
good.
you do the Chichen Itza hike with the?
If I could, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's
That's
amazing.
a nice bean. It's super like fudgy, cocoa-y. Yeah, that's nice.
That is.
A little bit ashy at the end.
And it's interesting how that small area in the equator line in South America,
Yeah.
so many people
Yeah.
produce most of the world's beans.
Yep.
That's mind-blowing to me still,
Yeah.
just to think about that.
It really is. And a lot of the places aren't, we think of plantations or large areas because, out west we have corn for miles and miles and miles and miles.
It's 100 miles of corn.
Right, there's just corn and it's flat. But a lot of
corn.
but a lot of these places there's just, there's a banana plant and then there's a cacao tree and there's papaya and there's something else and the cacao is just scattered. Not even in rows, they're just kind of scattered around and
It's like the lazy plant.
yeah, they just kind of do their thing.
Yeah.
They're fussy, but they like to do their thing.
Yes. Wow. That's very exciting. Travel the world to perfect the art of chocolate making.
It's a pretty sweet gig.
It is. And it's also the interesting thing about your store being so sweet. So out of the 3 chocolate places, it's interesting. So someone can work on one particular craft or food as their business, and it's so different from other places.
Yeah.
So at Enna, it's these beans, and there's these different things being made, and there's these chocolate drinks, and there's this unique process. And then when we go over to your place,
Yes.
there are all these unique, very colorful, very flavorful, small chocolates, these interesting assortments.
Yes.
I'm curious why you have decided to go the path you have.
Okay, so Enna, which we love Enna, she's fantastic, is a bean to bar or a chocolate maker. So she takes the beans and makes it into chocolate, kind of like someone taking wheat and making it into flour. So what we do is we're a chocolatier. So we get the flour and the other ingredients and make a cake out of it. Or in this case, we take chocolate and other ingredients and we make it into bonbons and truffles and bars and anything we can really think of. I just made an engagement ring box out of chocolate the other day for a special engagement party. So it depends on what we feel like making. For us, our art is just different than someone like Enna, who her art is taking the beans and drawing out all of the nuance into the final product, the chocolate. We take all of that nuance that's in the chocolate and we try to enhance it with fruits and nuts and things like that, spices, in as many imaginative ways as we can think of. So our art comes from tasting a lot of chocolate, which is really hard sometimes to have to eat chocolate all day, and taking all of that. If one specific chocolate, much like wine, tastes a little bit fruity or a little bit spicy or something like that, and taking an ingredient and adding it to enhance that or offset it in some cases. When people really think of, for example, raspberry and chocolate, they want a deep fudgy chocolate with raspberry. So that's more of a contrasting flavor as opposed to taking a very fruity chocolate that might have that raspberry note to it and enhancing it with more raspberry.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Enhancing it with more raspberry.
Yeah.
I've got a fever, and it is more raspberry.
There you go.
All right. Very, very great way to put it. So my next question is, of all places, why pick Exeter?
That's a great question.
Yeah,
So
because it's a small place you have,
yep.
and you walk in, and it almost looks like it's barren. But then when you look behind, it's like there's machines and stuff and people working and things being made.
Yeah, so Exeter for us just kind of happened. We were looking around, we were on New Hampshire Chronicle for our Easter eggs, and people were coming to my house very early in the morning, the next day after it aired, like 7 o'clock in the morning. So we said we need a space because we can't keep selling out of my little house. So we looked at a number of different towns similar to Exeter, like we looked in Portsmouth and we looked in Exeter and we looked in downtown Manchester, and we were trying to find the perfect space that was small but not too small. We needed to have a kitchen space, we needed to be able to make it our own, and it just so happened that the space we found that fit us perfectly was in Exeter. And we love the town. It's fantastic. It's very supportive of its local small shops. The downtown is great. You can find pretty much anything in downtown without going very far. It's all here. So yeah, we were very lucky to find the space.
And then I am curious about this. Speaking of game, you used to be a fencer too.
I did. I fenced for the UNH fencing club, and our team my senior year was actually second nationally. We came in second. We were
National class fencer, now chocolatier.
Yep, now chocolatier.
Did you ever want to make a saber out of chocolate?
I mean, we thought about it, yeah. Maybe that's the next sculpture. I don't know.
That's the next sculpture. A fencing.
That's right. Fencing mask with an epee or something.
I mean, it sounds like you've had a pretty sweet time, literally and figuratively here.
Yep, we have.
And, now that Valentine's Day is coming up, the madness that comes with it.
Yes.
I mean, it seems very much like a labor of love, like being able
Literally.
to see the people's faces when they get those chocolates, when they get those delicious sweets. I am curious, craziest Valentine's order?
I mean, we've had a lot of very interesting orders.
Like, did anyone order like a heart like the size of me?
No one's ordered that specifically. It's more just odd things, like they want a specific picture or something on chocolate, which we can do. We have a special cocoa butter printer that can print any picture onto chocolate.
A picture on a chocolate.
Yeah, I did like my parents' wedding photo for their anniversary. You can get pretty much anything on chocolate as long as it's not copywritten.
I may have to think, like, scheme of a way to, like, one-up everyone else.
Yeah, yeah.
Like maybe a chocolate shoe that's, like, stuffed with a variety of different flavors.
Yeah.
Depending on where you bite on the shoe, there's a different
There you
flavor
go.
to it. So it's like
That's
a sorted
fun.
box of chocolates.
Yeah, yeah.
All in, like, the area where the rubber padding would be for the...
There you go. I like it. Love it. We'll
All
just
right.
make it happen.
I'm going to put the order through this week. And then afterwards, I can just go live on Channel 98 and just film myself eating.
Yeah, there you go. You'll have lots of little snacks while you film.
Exactly. I can hit all three places at once and get some oddball order for each one. Like
So for us, our big push is sustainability and trying to give back all the way to the farmer and being respectful of what they do in order to get us to that final bonbon.
And was that something too that you noticed with Exeter? They were a very mindful community.
They really are. I should say we. We really are. As a community, people really want to know that slow food movement, is that farm to table movement, whatever you want to call it, is here, and people want to know where their chocolate or other foods are coming from. So for us personally, it's important. My husband has traveled to Guatemala and to the Philippines to see the cacao, and people growing and making. And so for us, it's a very personal goal as a shop. But the community itself is really embraced that and wants to know, well, where is the chocolate from? How do we know? And we can show them, which is pretty amazing when you think
cool.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, people actually say, "Oh, well, where's it?" And you can show them.
And you can say it's from this plantation.
This plantation owned by this family.
Right. Yeah. Which is pretty unique.
And they're at the tree picking it.
Yeah. It's amazing to think that something like a fruit the size of a football makes a chocolate bar in the end.
And you heard it, Exeter. If you would like to be in the spotlight or recommend somebody, you can contact us at extvg@exeternh.gov. Thank you, and have a great day. All right.
Nice.